Okay, so the main thing as you adjust yourself is make sure that you're comfortable. If you need to sit in a chair, which is perfectly fine, Jason, you can sit on somewhere. So your trunk is upright. So I'm going to go. So I have my son here off to the corner, right? Just seeing him for the first time doing yoga. All right, so except for back in the day, right, Winnie? So you're cross-legged. If you need to sit in Virasana, that's fine. Take your hands to the roots of the thighs with the palms pronated, palms down. And then just feel the weight of the pelvis. So this is a technique often in meditation that we use to find that grounding element. Just allow yourself to feel the weight of your pelvis sitting on the support, balancing yourselves from side to side, back to front, top to bottom. Just let the arms naturally hang without taking the elbows too close into the body. If you need to adjust the shoulder blades so they're flat on the back, take the arms out to the side as you can see me doing. Jesse, you can do what I'm doing now. And turn the palms up. And then get the shoulder blades to be flat on the back. Flat on the back, turning the palms up will help you. And then maintaining that, return the hands to the roots of the thighs. And then again, press down to go up without alerting the eyes. And still the eyes are open. Relax the throat. And as the eyes still are open, just connect to the outer corners of the room. Have big, big view, big view. Wide, wide in the lens. So you're seeing from the corners of the eyes, and let your outward perspective be wide and vast, that you're not narrowing in. Because this could help in conversations, etc. And now close the eyes and mark that event as you're turning away from the external world. Attune to yourself, attune to the quality of presence. Notice the process of involution, turning inward as it takes time. And then feel yourself in space sitting in this dignified manner, sitting halfway between earth and the sky. And sense the body porous so that the prana, the life force, runs freely and easily. Think of the chest as a field and you're irrigating it with the prana, with the life force. See if you can put down any desire to control your body, your mind, or manipulate what's happening. Make space in the body for warmth and kindness. And then if you have your own personal vow or the one that we've been doing for some time now, if you'd like, you can fold your palms in front of you. You can look down into the fold of the hands and repeat after me. May I be a boat, a raft, a bridge for all beings to cross the flood. May I be a resting place for the weary. May I be medicine for all who are sick. May I be a lamp in the darkness for those who are lost. And may I do so as long as earth and sky and galaxies exist, until all beings are enlightened. I vow to be here to serve them all. And just now set your intention in that manner. Incline your mind to that vow. A rather big one. But if the intention is big, there's no worries if you fall short of it. Next day, the next hour, you simply begin again. And then when you're ready, you can release your hands, lift your head up, allow your eyes to open. and stretch out your legs. Good morning, everyone. We're going to start with one of the quintessential inner groin poses, and a pose that you can feel the breath in quite easily, Supta Baddha Konasana. So you'll have your bolster vertical, very classic way. Belt is optional. If you want, we're going to stay a bit of time, so if you need support, 2 blankets, soles of the feet together. Another option is having another block nearby you can put between the feet. If you need head support, add a blanket. So you're sitting in front of the vertical bolster with the pelvis on the floor in Supta Baddha Konasana. The feet don't have to be as close in to the perineum, but eventually you can bring the feet in closer. So you can start with the feet, especially Catherine, for your knees. Peg, Polly, with your heels further away. We'll bring the heels in. Belt is optional. Belt's always good, but the pose can be done without a belt. So we're starting with this quintessential pose that's wonderful to, again, continue that mode of involution, starting seated. And notice you might not have arrived to involution where the body and the mind is quiet. So use this second posture, Supta Baddha Konasana, as a means to merge the body, breath, and the mind. Lindsay, that's really good. We're staying a bit of time, so if anyone needs Catherine, outer thigh support, take it. Jackson, for you also, you could have had 2 blankets. You need head support. Have the palms out to the side with the palms up to encourage the inner upper arms to turn. Oh, there's Marie. Good. Okay. So I'm glad many of you are here today, and we're doing a wonderful sequence using, I'll explain, I'll call this sequence using Parsva Acuncanasana, put on chair, as a platform to poses like Vrikshasana, Half Moon, Trikonasana, and Parsva Hasta Padangusthasana, leg out to the side pose. So it's a beautiful sequence to get you toward that crescendo pose, even Vashisthasana too. Donna, did you get that all down? Okay. All right. When you're ready, take the arms overhead, take a nice even inhalation, reach through the fingertips, have no elbows, so the arms are straight, inner elbows firm, let the inhalation touch the side walls of the waist, and then let the exhalation elongate the sides of your abdomen. Now that you're reaching the arms overhead, sense that longness, that tallness in your chest. Think of your chest not starting at the waist, but think of your chest starting at the roots of the thighs. Reach through the fingertips, reach. Let the inhalation touch the very outer corners of the armpits, and now fold the arms, fold the wrists, elbows, or upper arms. So the arms are overhead in this manner. Yeah. And those of you with tighter armpits, hold the wrists. Those of you with more mobile armpits and shoulders, hold the upper arms. But the elbows should be in line with the shoulders. Jackson, you can hold your arms. The elbows come down to the poles. Okay. That's it. Yes, and if you're doing this in Supta Virasana, that's fine too. If you're doing it in Supta Virasana, make sure that your bolster is not pushing your abdomen forward. Abdomen up toward the ceiling. Change the cross. Some of you can decentralize the arms because if the elbows are higher than the shoulders, see if you can propriocept that. Then decentralize it, meaning take your hand, hold your wrists versus your elbows or your upper arms for that matter. Okay. So your upper arms are not at a slant, but rather elbow in line with shoulder. Good. And then just adjust with the arms down by the side so that this is more quieting for the mind. Again, turn the palms up, always the palms up, so that your inner upper arm skin at the bicep, at the upper deltoid. Jess, you can have your arms a little further away from the sides. Make the backs of the hands touch the floor, so you get the shoulder blade Feel how when you press the backs of the hands into the earth, how you get those shoulder blades flat on the back. So your spine, even though it's resting on the soft surface of the bolster, it should not feel like it's sinking into the bolster. Alert the spine. And this is really one of the second methods that when we sit in meditation, I already alluded to the first, where I had you feel the weight of your pelvis, if you will, the buttock bones, which is more of the touchstones of the posture. But now see if you can feel the central line of your spine. So you're not resting. The central line of your body, which is in essence the spine. Alert your spine to bring you more into an active mode. And then, of course, the third and fourth points that we often use in meditation seated is to find the breath. Breathing in, know that you're breathing in. Breathing out, know that you're breathing out. And then, of course, the touch points of the body, meaning the hands pronated on the legs, the buttock bones in contact with the earth, the lips perhaps pressing into each other, so that you're bringing your attention to a sensation. So those four points can remind you how to sit for seated meditation for many of you who indeed practice or have a formal practice. Okay, now when you're ready, let's take the hands to the outer thighs. Draw the legs into the midline, place the feet flat on the floor, and then gently roll to your right or to your left side. And just rest there. Again, now with the second pose, see if the body, the mind, and the breath have come as one. Okay, now begin in Dandasana. We're coming into Acuncanasana, and Baddha Konasana is preparation. So those of you who need to do this at a wall or sit on a blanket or a bolster, you're going to sit in Acuncanasana, start in Dandasana, have the feet hip width apart. We're going to do it twice. So use Dandasana and learn something from Dandasana to really press your legs down. So again, in profile, the legs are sealed to the floor and the body is absolutely 90 degrees. You're not leaning forward, you're not slumping backward. So some of you will need some height and be more toward your frontal sitting bone, the front side of the buttock bone. So you almost feel like your buttock bones are like little golf tees. Okay, now from Dandasana, with the feet hip width apart, bend one leg, let's all bend the right, and then scrub the heel on the floor, and then bifurcate your calf in this bend leg position, divide in two, use your thumbs, go down the length of the calf and divide. So you're spreading the calf flesh nicely, and then scrub the heel away. Don't aim for your widest Acuncanasana. Bend the left leg, bifurcate the calf. So the foot is in flexion, toes, sole of the foot is facing upward. You're kneading your calf flesh, scrub the heel away, and then place a palm right in front of your perineum. Put your other hand behind you, and now press the floor away, lift the pelvis up, and slide forward. If you're still on the blanket, that's fine, just to get the legs a little bit wider and to seal the legs to the floor. Look at your feet, adjust the feet so that they're perpendicular to the floor. If you're on height, so those of you who are on height, notice how the back of the leg won't connect to the floor. Those of you who are sitting without height, press the top of the knee, actually it's the upper thigh, the vastus medialis, where that resides down. And then just like Dandasana, get the metrics of the pose so that you're upright. Good. Find the shoulder blades flat on the back. Acuncanasana. You should be on the back heel hinge. Really open up that back heel hinge. Okay, now come back to Dandasana. All right, now do Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together. So now again, use your hands to turn the thigh flesh from the inside out. Aim the heel to the perineum. Those of you need the wall, Baddha Konasana. Those of you, many of you will need the blanket for Baddha Konasana. And widen the thighs away. Lift up. Widen the thighs away, reach. You haven't done this in some time, your inner groins might be screaming now. Press the feet strongly and widen the thighs away. Widen the thighs away. The 2 feet are pressing rather strongly, and see if you can increase the distance between the sides of the pubic bone and your inner thighs. Okay, now stretch out your legs again and take Acuncanasana, Dandasana, now feet apart. Go to the left leg in the same manner. Bend the left leg, bifurcate the calf flesh, scrub the heel away. Right leg, bifurcate the calf flesh, foot is flexed, scrub the heel away. If the mat is impeding the movement, then certainly come off the mat. All right, now lift your pelvis up this time and scoot forward. So you're widening the distance between your inner thighs, maintaining the perpendicular quality of the feet. And then again, lift the pelvis up and inch forward. Do this to widen the pubic plate. One more time, lift the pelvis up. Yeah, slide forward even if you come off the blanket. So we're doing this to widen the thighs. Catherine, that's good. Look at your feet and make them perpendicular. All right, now come back to Dandasana. Take the left leg in, work with your hands, turning the flesh. Take the left foot use your right hand underneath the left foot and bring the heel in. So the sole of the left foot is now facing the opposite wall, and then Baddha Konasana in the same manner. Okay, Baddha Konasana, taking the other leg. Classically speaking, you need to do this 2 times, both Baddha and Upa, because you don't want to always come into the pose with the same leg taking in. Now press the feet strongly and widen the thighs away. All right, now a block hopefully is nearby so you don't have to break the pose. Put the block on the narrow side and hold the block between your 2 feet on the narrow side. That's it, narrow side. Notice how when you put, or might have, I should say, not for everybody, for most people, when the block is inserted between the feet, how the feet have walked away from the perineum. Holly, if it's too much, just do one leg. Yeah, one leg. Press the feet strongly. We're going to stay for about a minute so that we'll use this. So when we come back to Baddha Konasana with this left side that we took in first, you'll have gleaned some more length in your inner groins. The block on the narrow side is not a bad way to do it. And eventually you can do it on the medium side and then of course the widest side as well. Press the feet strongly into the block. Stay for another 30 seconds. These are good. Lizzie V, that's really good. And then those who can, hold the outer shins and bring your heels closer into your perineum. Really good. Yeah, Marina, use the wall so make sure the trunk is not tipping. Obviously, the wall prevents you from going backward, but nor do you want to go forward. Suki, just keep the chest a little more upright. And I think it's because you're reaching for the feet that it's causing it to tip. Okay, now remove the block and you'll see how much Baddha Konasana has improved, right? So again, this is just a means to an end. So now sit in Baddha Konasana and just feel that length has come from using that narrow block. Okay. All right, now just like we did on Tuesday, we're doing Ekapada Mula Bandhasana. So this is the one, it's nice to actually sit on a bolster, which I'm doing. And then I'm adjusting my foot. And actually, in some ways, it's easier to do in a sneaker. And Lumina, you know the way you did, the thumbs, right? The 2 thumbs are against my inner heel because my heel wants to roll back and I want my heel to be directly over the ball of the foot. So see if you can arrange your right foot so it's actually perpendicular. You can take off your socks because it might help you to access the toes. You have a sneaker on, Polly, do with chair. Catherine, you can do as Polly's doing with the seated on a chair if you can't get, because the height of the chair will make it accessible. Okay? Yeah, Jackson, that's it. Go sit on the chair. All right. So now watch how the heel goes back to the perineum. See if you can get your right foot absolutely perpendicular to the floor. So your ball of the foot is down, the toes are down, and the heel is up, and then change sides when you're ready. Good. It's a good pose for your feet to open up the back heel hinge, to cultivate the arch of the foot. It's also a wonderful, you can see how it elongates the shin and bifurcates the calf. So we're doing one leg at a time. Polly, just stay with the chair, it works well. Observe how the 2 feet are usually different. One foot is actually easier to get perpendicular than the other. And then note the weight wants to fall to the baby toe side. Can you bring it more to the big toe side and moving your inner heel away from the perineum? And I've taught many of you can put a paperback book, a small, inch thick book between your heel and perineum. Now, those who can do the full pose where both feet, and this is only for those who found ekapada, one-legged variety, rather easeful. Otherwise, you can do it on the chair, okay? So go for the full pose, Donna, good. If you cannot do the full pose, then go back to the side that was, start with the side that was more challenging. If it was your left foot, take it in. So you're doing ekapada mula bandhasan or mula bandhasan, good, Julia. Then put your hands between the perineum, Julia, that's it, and your heels. And you're aiming to get the feet, good, Lana, perpendicular. There's Lubna. Lubna, that's it. So many of you are in the full pose. Catherine, just stay with one-legged. Polly, you can do 2 feet as you're doing nicely. Jackson, that's really good. Okay, this is really good for your feet. But actually, Iyengar gave this pose for people who have been on planes to, for their calves and actually for blood clots. Okay, now stretch out your legs. Back to Dandasana. Open the backs of the knees, that's good. Okay, now from here, we're going to do the chair. And as I said, for those of you walked in a little bit later, Suk and others, we're using Parsva Acuncanasana today. And all of you, I want you to know the name of this pose, Parsva to the side. Acuncanasana is kind of oddly named, but it's leg on a chair. Now, for many, I wanted to just take some time to really learn this properly. Many of you will need a block, and the safest way to do this is if you're putting a block, let me tell you how you'll know to use the block. Use the mat on the chair. Let me just use this for a minute. So ideally, if you're going to use the block, there would be a mat. Let me just show this. All right, so the reason why I'm saying this is because ideally the knee is a smidge higher than the groin. Can you see that? So this right leg of mine slopes down. All right, now this left hip is directly in line over the foot. So I'm not doing this, right? I'm reaching the right knee from the corner of the left hip. Okay, so with that said, not all of you, I expect, because there's a lot of you here today, will need the block. Some of you when you put the foot on the chair, maybe you don't need it, but the metrics of Parsva Acuncanasana is such that the knee is slightly higher. It's about a ½ inch higher. All right, so let me see. Julia, that's it. See that your knee is directly over your ankle. Good, Marina. Your knee is a little bit higher than your right hip. All right, so I'm giving time. Good, Winnie. Now pin in at the corner of the left hip. Good, Peggy. And sense your, Polly, so look at make sure your ankle is below the knee. Polly, can you see how your heel is behind the knee? All right, so take time to get settled. So you're giving yourself, Suki, you could raise a little bit of height underneath your foot because your knee is aligned with your hip. It should be you should have a slope down. Lana, that's good. All right, now pin in, find the indent. So Jackson said, this is what happened to Polly. If your chest, listen, Polly, look at me now, I guess you are looking at me. If my chest is moving in the direction of my right leg, I'm bypassing that groin. So your chest has to be straight on, that's it. And now take your right hand, Jackson, to your right buttock flesh and move it down, move it down. Now pin in, thumb and index finger at the corner of the left hip and sense that this knee is moving that away. away from its abduction, away from that hip. And then take the arms out to the side, turn the palms up, get the shoulder blades flat on the back, and reach up, reach up. No need to bring the hands together, just reach up. No elbows. Reach up, reach up. Parsva Acuncanasana. And now take the arms down, well done, and change sides. So spend at least 30 seconds, everyone. Make sure your foot, your ankle is underneath the knee, and that the knee is about an inch higher than the groin. See that your right leg, right foot is directly underneath your hip. This is good. And then pin in at the corner of the hip, and the chest is facing forward. Yes, it's like Acuncanasana. Valerie, that's really good. It's good. Now move the buttock flesh of the left thigh down to the floor. Down, buttock flesh, put your hand on that left buttock flesh, that's bent, move it down so it doesn't hike up. Now pin in at the corner of your right hip, pin in, these look good. So we're using this as a platform to poses like Trikonasana, half moon Ardha Chandrasana, Parsva Hasta Padangusthasana, Pali, that's good. Now extend the arms like wings, turn the palms up, find those shoulder blades flat on the back, and reach up, reach. See if you can reach up through your inner arms without alerting your throat or your eyes. Reach up. Okay, now take the arms down. Well done. And take the leg down. These are good, and I probably would say the best Parsva Acuncanasana I've seen from the beginning of time. All right, now stand in Samastiti. Have a block nearby. We're doing Samastiti, finding those indents with the block on the narrow side. We're going to do some of the arm work. Peggy, you can do as much as you can, or opt for Parsva Hastasana in the 3 different hand positions at the wall. Okay, so you're taking the block. You can go to the narrow side. That's why, yeah. So you see there's some shapes of blocks. I'm on the wider side and you're on the narrow side. All right, now bring the feet together. They don't have to touch, but if they do, not a problem. Okay, any amount, bring the feet toward each other. Now feel the indents as you're getting the clarity of the hip indents by having to hold the block from your hips. Yes, it's true. Classically speaking, anatomically speaking, the legs are in abduction and they're squeezing the brick. But let's do a metaphorical, more of an Iyengar, is hold the block from the hips, but find those indents. I'm just making sure, I'm looking around to make sure that none of you have it on the too wide side, because that defeats the purpose. Your hips should not feel bulbous in shape. It should be a pinning in. All right, now from here, take the arms out to the side, turn the palms up, and then reach up. Reach up through the fingertips. We've done this before, just previously in Parsva Acuncanasana. No arm, no elbows. All right, now take your left hand and turn the skin of the inner upper right arm and reach up. Send the fingertips up to the ceiling. And then opposite. So in Ekapada or Vahastasana, reach up, get taller and taller. Make your armpits thinner and thinner. So the arm is moving back behind you. Okay, now take your arms down, interlace your hands firm at the webbing, and reach up. Reach up. First way. Now bring the hands down. Suki, you can just touch these so the backs of the hands are on the crown of the head. All right, now push up through the thumb and index finger side. Keep the elbows firm. Keep the elbows firm. Change the cross. I hope I said that. Okay, now go back to Urdhva. All right, now from here, watch. I'm taking that right arm and bending it back into the Gomukhasana top arm. Gomukhasana, don't let the elbow come forward. You need to go back and use your hand to turn the skin. This is hard for you. Yeah. Turn the skin from the inside out and bring the hand as close to the thoracic spine and tap, 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 move the spine in, move the spine up, make your armpit thinner and thinner. You can turn around and I can see it from the side. You can be like on a swivel board. And then change side, block still in, other side, same manner. Turning the flesh, reach up, and then you can show me frontally so I can see the center of the triceps is facing forward, and then turn around so I can see the armpit length. Good, Young Quay, that's really good. Rukiko, good. Many of you have good. That's good, Lana. Now see if you can take the elbow back. Top arm and Gomukhasana. Lift the chin up, Janet. I know I can't see your face is not forward, but it looks like your chin is down. See, Jackson, lift the chin up. If anything, lift the chin up. Okay, now release. So many of you, I have to say that this top arm and Gomukhasana is challenging. The bottom, then we'll do the back arm, but this can even be more challenging. So watch. I've shown this many times. So when you're taking the right arm around, don't let the right arm go so far back, just to the level of the back waist. And then you're sliding the hand up. If it doesn't get up, just keep it at the level of the waist. Okay, back arm of Gomukhasana, right arm first. Go slowly. Take it out to the side, not too far back, and then walk it up to the degree that you can. Good, Polly. Now lift the chin up and look up. Lift the chin up and look up. So I know how to work arm skin. Okay, change sides. Donna, watch. You no need to take the elbow too far back. Donna, keep it more relaxed so you're not doing that. You see, let this arm skin like drape, and then, because the key thing here is, you see, look at my arm, and that's why I wore white today. You can see that it's better on this side, the left obviously than the right. But when I take my arm behind me, this skin should turn. It's not the other way. So this is the hard part about this. This top skin has to turn. So I'd rather have you turn the skin and have the hand not come up as far. So you have to be the truth teller in this, because it's challenging to tell. Not too far back, Donna, with the elbow, not too far back. Because if you take the elbow back, Donna, that makes the skin roll the opposite way. It's a little technical, but I think you'll get it. Lindsay, that's good. Okay, now turn your backs to me and see you can do with movement the full pose. Gomukhasana. Don't even get the strap, just with movement. Let the hands come together and lift the chin up. Don't duck the chin. Yeah, don't worry about clasping, Jackson. Go with movement. Turn, turn, turn. Okay, swing, swing, swing. With movement. With movement. Gomukhasana, arms. Lift the chin up, that will help. Don't duck the chin down. Keep going a few more times. With movement will help most of you. With movement. So you're still standing, ideally hugging the brick, because it's easier to do standing this pose than kneeling, because your legs can access the arms better. I was only doing it kneeling because to get you to see my arms on the screen. So we're doing Gomukhasana. All right, now release the arms down by the side after you finish the final time. All right, now from here, you're doing Urdhva Namaskar so that you can do Vrikshasana with the classical position. So I'm going back up and bringing my palms together. If this is difficult, then do with movement and just clap at the top. Okay, do with movement, because most of you will benefit with movement. See if you can bring the palms together and keep the elbows straight. That's it, with movement. Okay, now try this method. Place the palms in front of the chest in Namaskar and then reach up. This is generally speaking a little bit harder without the movement. That's it. Reach up. And now look up, look up. So looking up, sense that the eyes of your chest are parallel to the ceiling, the eyes of the chest. So this arm work is critical. Now take the arms down. All right, now we're standing in Vrikshasana. So you'll get the bottom, you'll have the memory of the block there in Tadasana. You're going to balance on your left leg and manually, Catherine, Polly can use the strap, bring the heel up to the perineum. This is the Baddha Konasana, and like Parsva Acuncanasana, pin in at the corner of the left hip and send that knee away. And then you'll take the arms in the classical position or Namaskar. Guys, now take off your socks and use it to balance. Okay. If anyone's having balance issues, they can be sideways to the wall. Sometimes placing a sneaker on will help. Yeah. Manually bring up the foot, press the foot into the thigh, good Wendy, the thigh into the foot. Find those indents, because here's the thing, guys. If you have the memory of those indents, then balance is a non-issue. And then reach up. Now, as you reach up, send the outer corners of the eyes to the perimeter of the room and bring the palms together. And now take the arms down. That would say Catherine, and the leg down. All right. Samastiti. Actually, everyone put the block in again, because I really find this so, so don't think of tree as a balancing pose. It actually doesn't help. Think of it as a hip indenter pose. That's it. Join the feet, find the indent, corner of the hips. When you, so now clearly it's symmetrical pose, you're not on one leg. But if you have the memory now of Tadasana with the brick, because if you get those indents, balance, it's like riding a bike, you'll always find it. Now extricate the brick. Still, you're with that brick, As you raise the left leg up, you're with the brick, Send the left knee out the room, pin in, and then go. Pin in, and then go. Arms up. Lubna, good. Don't list into that right hip. Janet, that's excellent. Once you find the indents, it happens. Janet, that's a beautiful, beautiful compactness in the hips. Peggy, good. All right, now take the arms down. Elaine, excellent. Take the arms down and then take the leg down. All right, Uttita Trikonasana, my friends. Now, Uttita Trikonasana, we spent a lot of time on this pose last week working on alignment and form. So we're going to take the pose. And of course, on this first one, we'll do it again in a different way. I want you to get the alignment. Remember, I think it was Lana showed where the sides of the waist were parallel to the floor. Get that when the hand was on the hip. So with that said, join the feet, Samastiti, have the memory of the brick, and then jump the feet wide apart. So this is Upavishta Konasana, is it not? Find the width across that pubic plate. You know you've gone too wide if there's any, what I would say, sensation in your inner knees, right? The legs are wide apart, but it really knows, Catherine, go a little bit wider. And then there's a natural compactness in the hips. Do you feel that? You can see it if I was to stand sideways. Here's the indents, right? There's a groove there between the top of the thigh and the pelvis. All right. Remember to go wide enough so that your spine elongates. These look good. Now, from here, keeping your trunk facing me, simply turn the root of the thigh out so that the toes of your right foot are, but keep the trunk facing me. Remember, it's Parsva Acuncanasana, Jackson. So draw up from the knee to the hip. Now reach your arms out. All right, now to get the length in the side walls of the chest, press the left foot firmly into the earth. Take the right arm up and go slowly, reach out, get length to your lower rib band. Lightly, it's not weight bearing, hand comes lightly to a block. Some of you might prefer on the outside of your right foot or your shin. With the left hand on the hip, I want to see the side ribs parallel. Winnie, work with that from Tuesday. See if you can elongate more on the right side of your body, and then bring your left hand to the top of your left rib cage and tap it away from the ceiling. Tap, tap, tap. Catherine, remember to keep the right leg straight. Marina, that's really good using the arm on the wall. I love that for length. Beautiful. Now, turn, 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 good, Sue. And then when you can't turn anymore, extend the arms away from each other. Keep the arms straight. Extend the arms away from each other. Okay. Extend the arms away from each other. Val, draw up if you can a little more from the outer right knee to the hip. And now press the feet down. Inhale, up you come. Janet, just take the chin away from the sternum. All right, we'll see it on the left side. Come back to Samastiti. Find the indents. Jump the feet apart. Upavishta Konasana, which has naturally inherent in Parsva Hasta Padasana, which you're in now. Those indents go wide. Otherwise, you won't feel that natural compacting of the hips. Stretch out your arms. Turn from here. Don't turn the lower leg. Turn the upper leg inside out so that the toe, that's it. Jackson's look good. Those look good. All right, now, trunk is facing forward, right? So Polly, remember that part of Acuncanasana from Tuesday on this left side where the chest was facing that? Do you remember? I want to see the chest facing straight on. All right, now reach out through your fingertips. All right, raise the left arm slightly higher, Marina, as you did, lengthening out to the wall to lengthen this left side of your body. Reach, come into it slowly. See if you can, as you're reaching out, see if you can get that bottom side longer and longer. Touch down to the floor, to the brick, or lightly chin to shin and revolve. See, I'm making this left side and the right side match up. So I don't want to see this meandering river on my right side of the rib cage. Tap, 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 soften the skin as we did in Viparita Karani last week. Soften the skin, soften the muscles. You know, in order to turn the chest away from the floor, you have to soften those intercostal muscles. And then finally, and then Janet, so this is what happens. The chin moves to the chest, and then the upper back rounds. Move the chin away from the sternum. Move the chin away from the sternum. Make the top arm an extension of the bottom arm. Feel the vastness in the chest, the vast spaciousness of the body. You'll need that organic spaciousness for the next Vrikshasana. Now inhale, up you come. Stand in Samastiti. Find those in. Close your eyes. You did well. Close your eyes. We're going back to Vrikshasana. Have the memory of spaciousness, which you just gleaned. I brought your attention to that on the left side. Just see yourself in Vrikshasana. So we're doing Vrikshasana from the organic body now. Vrikshasana tends to feel more narrow in the organic body. Can you bring to it the spaciousness that you just gleaned in Uttita Trikonasana? With that said, Vrikshasana, standing on your left leg. Vrikshasana. Think of space and space only. Let go of form. Let go of balance. And only do the pose from space. Take the arms down. Nancy, well done. Take the leg down and change side. Just pause for a moment. See yourself in the pose on the left side. Have the memory of Uttita Trikonasana with space on the left side. And then when you're ready, standing on your right leg, manually take up the leg. Pause. Foot into thigh. Thigh into foot. Pause. Arms up. Urdhva Namaskar. Space in the chest. Watch the left buttock flesh because it tends to move down. See if you can create space in the chest, space in the pelvis. Good. Okay, and now take the arms down, take the legs down. So just as a sequencing point, many times we do poses with sheer attention on points of alignment. Many times we do poses for the physiological body, in this case, for spaciousness, a wider perspective, if you will. Now we're going back to Uttita Trikonasana, but we're doing an angular one. And let me explain why we're doing an angular one here. The angular one, you get more clarity of those indents. And that's what we want from this sequence today. So this is the one where you're right. You start with the front leg, adjust the foot so it's parallel to the top, the frontal edge of the mat, and then back up, which is the safest way with your left foot. So the inner edge of your right foot should run or be up against the mat. So the right leg is forward, the left leg is about 2 feet behind the right, and that diagonal, so the chest is still facing me. It's Uttita Trikonasana. Winnie, the chest is facing me, though. So you're more in like a Virabhadra. The chest is facing me. You got to open up that right one. All right, stretch out your arms, and now take an angular Uttita Trikonasana, full pose. Right leg is forward, left leg is back. Note that on an angular, we tend to shorten the distance, unless you do it often. And then you're good, Yukiko, that's good. Yes, right hand can be on the block. It can be lightly on the shin. Feel how much more you get the clarity in the right hip, right? The right hip to the left and the left to the right. That's the index, good. Feel how much more clarity you get from the knee, the skin of the right knee drawing back. Well done. And inhale, up you come. Okay, angular Utthita Trikonasana for the clarity in the hips. Left leg front, right leg back. Angular. We've done this.
Can I ask a question, or do you want to wait?
Let me just wait on the left side. We'll do the left side, Rahel, and then you can ask. So the angular Utthita Trikonasana, you can really feel how you can sense the skin, especially in the front leg. So Patricia often says the left hip moves to the right and the right to the left, which is in essence the compacting. So now take it, Lubna, that's good. And go with angular. Some of you may decide that this is the way you should be doing, or the way your hips feel the best, Polly, doing Utthita Trikonasana. And this is one of the reasons we do Utthita Trikonasana for hip issues in an angular manner. All right. Young Quay, I think your legs could be further apart. There is a tendency, as I said, for any time when we change the or change a leg position, unless you do it a lot, the distance might shorten. Okay, Donna, that looks good. Get that clarity. Those indents are naturally there. Okay, very good. And now come up. All right, Rahel, and then Alana, I think I'll spotlight you if you don't mind, where'd she go? Oh, it's Lubna that's missing. For Ardha Chandrasana, one of your signature poses. Rahel, go ahead.
Yeah, so I completely agree that for me, the hips were much better in that position, the angular, but the groin seems to be closing up. So I don't know. So I don't know if it's me or if it's my body. I don't know.
I wish I could see it in person. When you mean the groin closing up, is it side to side that you're alluding to? Can you show me? Where can you just show it on the screen?
Here, you mean, so it's closing this way. This is opening in the back, but I don't feel, so this is closing. And when I'm doing it here, there is more space here.
Yeah. Let me think about that for a minute, because let me just reflect on that, and then I'll get back to you today or tomorrow as I think about that. Okay, I'm going to spotlight now Lana, and we're going to do I'd like everyone today to do it freestanding, and there's a reason for that, unless you absolutely need the wall support. So let me just spotlight her for 1 second, and we'll see Ardha Chandrasana. Okay, so Lana, when you're ready. All right, so take it from Utthita Trikonasana. All right, so we're doing it the classic way. All right, so come into the pose. Yeah, you can do, yeah, you don't even need to put the hand on hip. So watch the transition. She bends the leg, steps in a lock, okay, steps out with the right hand, and then slowly you can see the drawing up of the skin of the right leg, the knee to the hip, as she takes the leg towards a little bit higher than 90 degrees. Notice how her chest is facing forward. And then to come out, and this is actually the entry is easier for most people with some practice than the exit. She bends, and then you have to reach back to take that same distance. That's a good pose. And then inhale, up you come. Okay, so unless you, thank you, Lana, unless you absolutely need the wall, and there are reasons to use the wall, and I'm a big believer in the wall, then do it freestanding, because I rarely ask you to do it freestanding, but you'll see why soon. All right, so let me just remove the spotlight. Okay, and let me all see you back in Samastiti, getting ready to take Trikonasana to the right, and then Ardha Chandrasana. Okay, so here we go. Did we get everyone back in that gallery view? Did I? Okay, so now take the legs wide apart. We're coming into Trikonasana to the right, as you saw Lana do. Wait there. Now bring the left hand onto the hip, bend the right leg, step in as you saw Lana step in, be on the ball of the foot. Make this back leg light and then press the right hand down into the floor and use that poly. You can always go back to Parsva Acuncanasana, raise the left leg up to at least 90 degrees. Good, Nancy. Only use the block. The block is only necessary, good Marina, if you cannot strain the right leg. Most of you, Kiko, you don't need the block. Lindsay, I don't think you need the block. I think the block sometimes is just a little bit of a crutch. Okay, now stay with me on the exit. Bend the front leg, reach back, reach back. So you're aiming to get where you kind of took off from. Come back to Trikonasana. And now press the feet down, inhale, up you come. Okay, change sides, well done. All right, bring the feet together. Jump the feet wide apart. Find the rhythm in Ardha Chandrasana. Remember, only use the block if you can strain the left leg. Otherwise, you can be on the fingertips. In some ways, you get a different kind of stability. In fact, I think it's more stable to be on the fingertips versus the low side of the brick. All right, retreat to Trikonasana to your left, full pose. Wait there. Johnny can go a little wider apart. Okay, now bend the left leg. Turn the inner knee to the outer knee of the left leg. Step in a lot with the right foot, 9 inches behind the heel. And now press the fingers down. Good, Donna, staying with me. Draw up from your left knee. Feel the skin again from the left knee to the hip and ascend the left. Holly, you can always do Parsva Acuncanasana or use the back body at the wall. It's fine. Suki, you can just straighten the left leg a little bit. That's it. Marina, that's it. The chest is facing me. Chest is facing me. Good, Julia. Now bend the front leg. Extend through the back. Reach back, reach back, reach back, reach back. Go slowly. The exit's harder. Good. Young Quay. And now Trikonasana. Well done. So you're all focused. I could see on that exit. All right. Now inhale, up you come. All right. Now we're taking a bit of a detour. I'm just explaining this because I think it's helpful to you. We're going to do some things that might help stabilize the leg, in this case, the standing leg in Ardha Chandrasana. So we're doing a prone Vrikshasana. So think about it. We were in Vrikshasana standing, obviously, and to some degree we did it with Parsva Acuncanasana with foot on chair. Now I've shown this before. Let me show you from literally behind. So prone is on your belly. Some of you who find it difficult, I come into this rather easily. You know, I have long arms. I can bring the sole of my foot on my inner thigh quite easily. My hands are like Chaturanga Dandasana, and then I'm lifting the knee. You can see quite high on this stronger right side. Let me show in profile. Watch. I'm on the floor prone. You can come into it. Some of you might find it easier to do like this. This is note to self, the first stage of Anantasana. Then I flip over, you see, I'm on the ball of my back foot. My hands are a la Chaturanga Dandasana. I lift the knee. That buttock flesh that I alluded to in Vrikshasana, Parsva Acuncanasana is moving to the wall. Lift, lift, lift. 8 times right side, 8 times left side. Not easy. Not easy, and if all goes poorly, use your right hand underneath the kneecap and lift your knee up. Good, Jana. So you can come into the first stage of Anantasana, roll over, and now 8 times lifting the right knee up. A little bit of grunt work, but it's really great to do this once a month. Lift, lift, lift. Move. Don't let the buttock fly up. That's it, Rahel. Lift the knee off the floor, 8 times to the right. So you're lifting the knee. If the arm position's not comfortable, put your palm on top of palm and rest your forehead. I'd rather have you find a comfortable arm position and get the knee up than struggle with the arm position. That's it, Luna. Use your hand. Lift the knee up so you're on your belly. And change sides. If you need the strap, Holly, to get the foot higher, Catherine, that's fine too. All right. 8 times, unless you can do 10. Good work. Lindsay V, good. Lana, good. Get that in. It's glute. It's glutes. I'll show you a functional exercise that accomplishes the same thing. All right. Finish up on the left side, 8 or 10. All right. Now, if some of you, and it looks easier today than it did on Tuesday, if you found that challenging, you can do what I call the classic hydrant.
Pose, look, so from an all four, and I'm raising the leg to that 90-degree mark without listing on my left hip. So let's everyone do 8 times hydrant right side, 8 times hydrant left side, just in case you didn't find prone comfortable. Just giving you alternatives. Some people don't like being prone, it's kind of claustrophobic. See if you can get the right leg parallel to the floor without good pegging, without listing to the left. Aim to get the, remember Parsva Acuncanasana, is that right leg not Parsva Acuncanasana? Of course it is. Raise the right leg up. Except that the hips are in flexion, and in Parsva Acuncanasana they were in extension. All right, good. Right side, that's it. And then left side, 8 to 10 times when you're ready. If it's too much, 8 to 10 times, then of course, good Val, go less. So hydrant to the left side. Lubna, that's it. Extend out to that heel to open up the heel hinge. So you're, as much as you're doing this for the groin and the hip, to get that full range of motion, the hip, you're doing it for the foot. Okay, now one more we'll do. All right, so left side is complete on the hydrant. And now everyone will need a block. Let me show you from a frontal view. So this is challenging, but the key is not to be focus on your foot in this one, it's to focus on the inner thigh. So in Ardha Chandrasana, let me explain, which I didn't do the other day. I'll just go on the wall. So on the when you hit in the standing leg of Ardha Chandrasana, the thigh turns from the inner to the outer. It has to do that in order so that the kneecap faces straight on. So what you're attempting to do now prone, in a prone Ardha Chandrasana, so watch, I'm taking the block and I'm putting it on the medium side. And the block surface is going to go right at the vastus medialis, watch. You see? So it's not below the knee, it's slightly above in my inner upper thigh. And then I'm lying down. Now you're going to see my foot turn up to the ceiling. And you'll feel that. And you know, the foot is indeed turning up to the ceiling, but I'm focusing on my inner upper thigh, turning inside out, just like I showed a moment ago at the wall. This is the key in Ardha Chandrasana, because the foot wants to turn in, and I'm turning my inner thigh. I'm turning my inner thigh. At the same time, I'm turning my inner upper right thigh. I'm drawing up the skin from the knee to the hip. So now prone Ardha Chandrasana. Now, if this is difficult, let me show you what you could do. All right, so I want everyone to try just what I showed, a prone Ardha Chandrasana, and to know that it's possible to go back to the hydrants and extend. Bend, straighten, bend, straighten. Okay, it's the same functional exercise. Okay, prone Ardha Chandrasana, put the block in, have your right leg at a 90-degree angle to your trunk. It must be. It cannot be lower. If it's lower, then I would advise the hydrant for straight leg. All right, now that's it, Lindsay V. Now move the buttock flesh away from the waist. Now don't focus on your right foot turning. Of course it's going to turn. Focus on your inner upper thigh. In fact, use your thumb and index finger right at the inner upper thigh and turn that flesh. That makes that is one of the key characteristics of Ardha Chandrasana. So the block is not on the high side, my friend. It's too high. Turn. Lubna, see if you can get that leg at 90 degrees, my friend. Turn the flesh. Let the leg, you know, rest on the block. You're turning the inner upper thigh flesh. That's it, Julia. Turn. Turn the key. Turn the key. Inside out. Inside out. Nancy, good. Inside out. And then left side. Well done. Donna, that's it. The leg is at 90. Good, good, good. Imagine I'm standing in your room, moving now the left buttock flesh down. So these are some functional, we're doing this now, again, just as an explanation. We are going back to Ardha Chandrasana. Of course we are, because you would think that it would improve that. Back to what Lana demonstrated. That's it, Donna. And then put your hand there to get that clarity in your inner upper thigh, and then turn, 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 turn. Polly, see if you can get the left leg a little higher, closer to the chest. The hands can be here by the armpit chest, or your hands can be underneath your forehead. So it's a prone Ardha Chandrasana. Prone is on your belly. Turn. 8 times should be great. You're trying to, those glute muscles have to be strong. Otherwise, if they're weak, the left gluteal muscles, the foot will lose its position. These are good exercises because they're fast and easy. All right. We'll finish up. And now, interesting enough, we're going to do a Parsva Acuncanasana sans chair, without chair. All right. So if you need to watch, you can come back to the chair. So remember, the name of this sequence is Parsva Acuncanasana as a platform for the standing pose. You don't need to do this, but I remind myself of this position and then watch. I walk away from my chair and then I'm going to raise my leg up. Now it's going to be easier to lift. I have the memory of the foot on the chair and I'm going to raise my leg up 12 times. Okay. See if you can get the knee. You can take the arms out, Elena, as you were doing, and aim to get the knee toward as high up as the elbow. So you're creating that downward slope. Only use the chair if you absolutely need to. All right. That's it, Donna. And lift up and down. Aim to get that angle, that angular slope. Good, Young Quay. Lift the leg, right leg first. Lift in a manner that doesn't let you listen to the right side. Nancy, let's see. Lift. You can face me so I can see you better. Lift, lift, lift. That's it. So Parsva Acuncanasana without chair. Much harder. It is harder because the foot's harder because the sole of the foot is not pressing into anything, but you need this. Guess for what pose? What pose basically starts from Parsva Acuncanasana airborne and then extends the leg? Parsva Hasta Padangusthasana, whatever it's called. Okay, Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana 2. Change sides when you're ready. That's good, Catherine. Lift the leg. Catherine, the use of your hand and your inner upper thigh is working well. Aim to get the left knee now as high up. So you're creating that sloping down that I alluded to earlier. Good, Julia, in the chair. Beautiful. You have to pin in, right? Those natural indents of Parsva Acuncanasana. Okay, now everyone just do Parsva Acuncanasana with the chair. Pin it. It's different because you can feel, you can get that abduction at the corner of the sense that the knee, this right knee is moving away. So this moves away from the corner of the hip. All right, now change sides. So we're using this pose with foot on chair and foot on, not on chair, as a platform for the next and the best Ardha Chandrasana. See that the ankle's underneath the knee. Polly, watch on this left side how the trunk is made now facing the leg. Bring the trunk to face forward. Because otherwise, as Rahel was, that the groin needs to be open, top to bottom, side to side. Rahel was saying that when she was doing Utthita Trikonasana, that she felt the groin somewhat closed on that front leg side. All right, that's better. All right, now, again, like Lana showed, I want you to do your finest Ardha Chandrasana from Utthita Trikonasana and have the memory of the functional exercises, hydrants, and prone work in Parsva Acuncanasana chair and without chair. So I'm just saying all this so that I'm inclining your mind to remember this sequence and not only remember it, but why we did what we did. It's not really important just to memorize the sequence, but to understand why did we do what we do. All right, so now back to Samastiti, jump the feet wide apart. Come into Utthita Trikonasana, full pose from the get-go. Remember, in order for the chest to turn away from the leg and Jana move the chin away from the sternum, these muscles, the skin, the muscles have to be soft as we do in Viparita Karani. Now, you're bending the leg. You're keeping the trunk facing me. I'm inching in, stepping out, and then step up into Ardha Chandrasana. Remember, use your hand on the floor, fingertips without the block. Some of you, good, Nancy. If you're getting tired, then by all means, use the wall. Excellent, Elaine. These look great. Now, what do you sense in your pelvis? from the prone work, there should feel the hip, the outer right hip should feel stable. And now step down slowly, bend the front leg, reach back with the back leg, well done. And inhale, up you come. Beautiful. And Utthita Trikonasana, Ardha Chandrasana, left side. So the external lateral rotators, the gluteal muscles, all of them, we've strengthened. That helps you stand on your left leg. Polly, you can do it that way. Take the block. Make sure when you step out that the toes are facing forward. So from Utthita Trikonasana, that's it, Yokiko, and go. Ardha Chandrasana. Make it lyrical. Find that transition. That's it, Lana, turning. So remember, as you bend that right leg, the turning of that thigh flex, that's it. Have the memory of what we did prone. That skin turning inside out. Draw the skin up, firm in at the greater trochanter of your left leg, and then use the front leg, left leg, from the power of the front leg, raise the back leg up, and then extend your arms fully away from each other. Okay. And then fully present with yourself, bend the front leg, extend through the back leg, take your finest Utthita Trikonasana, exit cleanly from Ardha Chandrasana. Don't lose any length, good Donna. And then inhale, up you come. All right, now, what is a supine Ardha Chandrasana? Supta Padangusthasana 2. All right, with the belt. Actually, let's do it without the belt. This is what we're going to do, something good. Watch. So I'm supine. Supine is on your back. Prone is on your belly. All right, so now just to belabor point and make everything fit in. So what am I doing? Supine Parsva Acuncanasana, right? Supine. And then look, I raise the knee. See the downward slope. I hold the big toe, and you all know what I'm going to do. Extend and straighten. Okay, so see this as a supine Parsva Acuncanasana. I'll try it this way. I'm going to hold. I'm just raising my head to protect my neck. I'm holding the baby toe side and extend. So let's not use a strap. Let's go for the gusto. All right. So it's a bend leg Supta Padangusthasana 2. See, this is how you can be tremendously creative and see the pose in different geometries. Lie supine. I'll just take it. Do a supine Parsva Acuncanasana. A supine Parsva Acuncanasana. No belt, no belt, no belt. Trust yourself. You can do this. No belt. Just like I showed. So let me show. See, look. Parsva Acuncanasana, no belt. Hold the big toe or the baby toe side of the foot and then reach out. Assess, Rahel. So this is where you have to assess. By holding the big toe or the baby toe, if you've lost groin width, then you can decide, okay, I really do need a belt because I've closed the groin. So this is how you really can finely tune your proprioception. So some of you might need the belt, then go with the belt, but at least try it without the belt because the final pose, that's it, Donna. The foot is indeed higher than the groin, but the groin has to be open. So it's a good way to touch go. Good, Julia. That's it, Luna. Reach out. Okay, change sides. So now a supine, think of this as a supine Parsva Acuncanasana. Here, broadening across my pubic plate, like we did Baddha Konasana, Upavishta Konasana. I hold the big toe or the outer edge of the foot, and then I extend through the core of the heel. Adjust so that the left foot is indeed parallel to the floor. Find out, keep the pelvis balanced. If your pelvis is not balanced, I'll give you a little hint. Decentralize the right leg. Decentralize the right leg. So the leg is out to the side. If you've closed that left groin window, then employ the belt. Employ the belt. Good. That's it, Donna. More space will come across the pubic plate. Okay. Speaking of Donna, now just pause, everyone. See yourself standing. Guess what pose you're in? Parsva Hasta Padangusthasana. Donna, I'm going to spotlight you. I hope you don't mind. And you'll do it freestanding. Those of you, if you're getting tired, then by all means, go to the wall, do it sideline, Parsva with the belt. All right, Don, I'll spotlight you in a second. Hold on. All right, so I want you to see where we've gone to, and it's only taken an hour, some odd minutes to get there. It's a beautiful thing. All right, where's Donna? Spotlight. Okay, Donna, you're on. Can you adjust your camera so we can see your chest? Because one of the things I want to see today, which I didn't see on Tuesday, the pose that you just did, supine Ardha Chandrasana, I'm calling that for a reason, not Supta Chu, but is of course Supta Chu. Remember, it's easy to feel your median line. Now, your job today, your mission, Donna, should you accept it, is to keep your median line of your spine, right? In Parsva, Hasta, Panagustasana. So now I want you to lift your leg up like Parsva, out to the side. Do out to the side, my friend. Yes. Now raise it higher. Hold the big toe or outer edge of the foot. Yeah. Lift up and now extend. Pin in. Get your hand at the corner of that hip and reach, Donna. All right. Now find the median line, Donna. Lean in. Don't lean out. Lean in and reach that right leg from the corner of the right hip, left hip. Reach it away. Good. Find your median line. Find your median line. It's hard to find the median line because the tendency is to listen to the standing hip. You held that long. Thank you. All right. So just everyone go down for a minute and do Supta Panagustasana 2, which I'll call today supine Ardha Chandrasana, and find your median line. It's easy to find the median line supine. Then you're going to quickly get up and do exactly what I asked Donna to do, find the median line in that standing Parsva Hasta Padasana. Okay, Panagustasana. Okay, so now let me remove your spotlight. Everyone doing supine Ardha Chandrasana, finding the median line. Because when we last left this pose a moment ago, I didn't bring your attention to this. So we're doing it, repeating it again. You can do it from Parsva Acuncanasana, just like we did the last one, but find the median line. That means you're taking a picture of yourself from the aerial view and you're on your median line. Elaine, last time you demoed this was, remember we talked about that median line. Change sides, find the median line, left side. So you're still on your supine, find your median line. All your attention is you're on your median line so that you'll be able to find it when you stand up. So now the left leg is going out to the side. Reach out through your right arm. That will help a lot to find the central line, which is often what we use in meditation to find that median line, in essence, the spine. Okay, now stand up. Now you might decide, let's just call this the crescendo pose of the sequence. You have an option. By now you would know which leg you can stand more easily on, right side or left side. So one of the things you would know is just by lengthening the hamstring and the groin. So if it's easier for you to stand on the right leg and take this leg, you see what I was asking Donna to do was find Parsva Acuncanasana and then reach out, okay? All right, so let's do it. Stand on either leg, thank God we have only two. All right, find a leg, see yourself in the pose, get the compacting of the hips, and now raise your right or left leg up. Find Parsva Acuncanasana. Yes, Rahel, belt is optional. Turn the leg out, Polly, so it's not going to the wall, it's going to the side of it. Now the chest facing the other way, Polly. Chest is not facing the wall, but away from the wall. And then reach out from the corner. Good, Nancy. Nancy, one of the things I can see is you need to be a little closer to the draws because your foot is behind that's it. Young Quay, good. These look good. I'm not asking you to hold. I want you to find the median line. Laying good. So the right side of your chest is turning, right? Not going back to the right leg, turning away from it. Good, Elaine. All right, change sides. Don't hold it long. 15 seconds, good. Find the median. Julia, good. Reach out through the opposite arm. It will help you find your median line. You're either holding the big toe, the outer edge of the foot, or you're using a strap. Holly, I think the foot at the wall is a better method for you because having the hand at the wall is just going to cause you to lean into the hip. Okay, that's beautiful. Find the median line. So you can see the leg is high. That's why I asked you to do the supine one without the belt. Beautiful. Okay, and now come back. Rest now in Supta Konasana without the vertical trunk support. Easy breezy. Come back to a symmetrical supine pose. having been airborne. And then we'll do Supta Swastikasana, which is more frontal groin than inner groin.
Gotta go, Ronnie, with that.
Now it should be easy to feel this close into the perineum, widen the thighs away. Again, feel the inhalation touch the side walls of the chest. The exhalation, feel how it lengthens the sides of the abdomen. So, oftentimes in a sequence, we balance asymmetrical poses with symmetrical poses. Acuncanasana is a very symmetrical pose. So one of the things, I would say, all sequences have nuanced aspects of them. And clearly today, you could see we use Parsva Acuncanasana as a platform, a jumping point to come to the crescendo pose, Parsva Hasta.
Ronnie, I can't hear you at all.
Okay, sorry, let me move closer to the screen. So we used Parsva Acuncanasana as a platform today. Can you hear me now? Yeah. Okay. So one of the things while you're resting in Supta Baddha Konasana, one of the things I wanted for you to experience, I know I brought your attention to Parsva Acuncanasana in its different forms, be it prone, supine. We didn't do sideline, which is Amantasana. We didn't have time. So there's a lot to the sequence, and Tuesdays and today's will be on the website. But one of the things most important as well is when you're balancing, when you're doing standing balancing poses, for some people, if they focus on standing on one leg, it actually diminishes their ability to balance. So what I wanted you to use was the hip indents for stability, so that balance, quote unquote, is a non-issue. So I'm saying that now just in case that wasn't clear. So, every sequence, what I would say, has multiple layers of what we're trying to get across. Some are more subtle than others. So that might have been more subtle, that we use the hip indents to create stability. We use the functional exercises to create stability, so that we don't look at a balancing pose, which we did 3, Vrikshasana, Ardha Chandrasana, Parsva, but we're not focusing on that it's an asymmetrical balance pose. That because we're doing things that we've learned in other poses, in these asymmetrical poses, the balance is a non-issue. So I hope that helped. Now, I will say that if some of you wanted to do just touch Supta Virasana, that might be an interesting thing to do, or just take your legs up to 90, hold, and come into Supta Swastikasana, flat on the floor, to open up more the frontal groin. So either Supta Virasana or Supta Swastikasana. And I'm going to bridge this lesson with Tuesday's lesson, distinguishing between inner groins and frontal groins. Those of you come back and we'll do a path to a pose called Vamadevasana. So either Supta Swastikasana now without support, open up the frontal groins, or Supta Virasana. People often think Supta Virasana can only appear at the beginning of the sequence, but make no mistake, Supta Virasana Vittalam is really helpful at the end of the sequence as well. It's a tremendously resting pose. Just rest there. Stood on your legs a lot. You can enjoy this respite. Remember to turn the inner heels if you're in Supta Virasana away, to outer. That's it. How you can stick your hands in there between the outer hip and the inner heel, so that the kneecaps are facing forward. So Supta Virasana or Supta Swasana.
Ronnie, can you check the audio on your mic? For some reason, it's still
It's
really.
on. Well, I'm gonna take you into Shavasana anyway, so you, no, the mic's on. I don't know. Okay, so we're going to come into Shavasana. So slowly come out and we're going to move into relaxation. And if you can't hear me for whatever reason, that's not a problem.
No,
That's fine. We can do a silent Shavasana. It looks like some of you can hear me and others can't. Yeah, so I don't know why that would be true.
I hear you now. I don't know what you did.
I didn't do anything.
No, it's because when you sit back and you speak
Well,
with
yes,
that,
that's why I'm right in front now.
when you are back, we can't hear you.
Okay, so we're gonna do Shavasana now. So do any Shavasana that's helpful for you. If you need trunk support, if you want to be on your back, your lower leg supported is fine. Knees resting, good laying on a bolster is fine. Main thing, of course, is that you're comfortable. Catherine, that's a great setup. Beautiful. Okay. So I'll take you through. So some of you probably realize that I am working with a lot of different meditations. Not so much long guided meditations, but kind of, halfway between a guided meditation and kind of a Dharma talk, I would say. So been working on this for some time now. So just see if you can get into a comfortable position. And just let the arms go out to the side. And then if it's helpful for you to use one of the methods that I asked you to sit in, feeling the weight of the body, the gravitational pull on the body, if it's helpful for you to use that, or the breath, or finding the median line, the spine. The touchstones are different when you're lying down because there are many versus seated, so that might not be as helpful. And if you're using the breath, you can repeat after yourself, breathing in, know that I'm breathing in, and breathing out, know that I'm breathing out. That's helpful. And again, see if you can arrive to this moment that your body is resting on the floor. Not as an order you're giving yourself, but rather as an invitation. Not being seduced by other things around you or any mind states or emotions. And be grateful to this time that you're taking now in this co-created community. So you might find that you're grateful for this time, for the practice of yoga, for the teachings of yoga. Grateful to the calmness, to the spaciousness that you feel. And then I'd like you to shift your perspective now. Instead of being grateful for something, see if you can approach gratefulness as a state, feeling the state of gratefulness in your body. So emotions occupy body space, and you can feel the state of gratitude in your body. What does it feel like to feel grateful? What does this state of gratitude feel like within? And if it's difficult to access, then just take a moment and reflect on the opposite of gratitude, which is probably the state of resentment. It's a very different quality, the state in the body of resentment. And then incline your mind back to the state of gratitude. Allow yourself to feel within your body what gratitude, what gratefulness has to offer to your body, but also to your mind. And then reflect on taking it one step further, what you might do to incorporate that throughout the day. So remind yourself that this is a practice to feel gratitude at any point that you have the ability to access the remembering quality of that feeling in your body and in your mind. And that's the daily dharma for the day. Just continue to rest for the final minute we have. Feeling that sense in your body and in your mind. Again, planting the seeds of the remembrance of gratefulness, of the feeling in your body and the mind, so that you can recollect it. Perhaps during the day when you're feeling less inclined of that in your mind and in your body. Perhaps where resentment feels more likely. Remember to come back to the feeling of gratefulness in the mind and the body. It's a practice of remembering. And then when you're ready, you can come to your side, slowly come up, and then sit again, feeling full, feeling vast. Because when you feel full, things, as you know, words, from others don't stick as much. When you have that feeling of fullness, then you're not bothered by. Simply not bothered by. Okay, thank you, everyone. I'm going to unmute you also. If you have questions, please stay. You can ask me on the other side. Have a wonderful weekend. If you're not staying on for questions.
Can Jackson come say hi?
He left already.
Oh, too
He
bad.
went to